Yo, what up? It's Benjamin D'Souza here back with another classic. I just want to do a follow-up on the Steve Dean SYSBM podcast that he did over there on O'Shea Duke Jackson's. I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of came in, a couple calls in and whatnot, and I was kind of bouncing between his panel and some other panels and whatnot. But I went back on the playback, and then I started listening to a reoccurring thing that he kept harping on. This whole, you guys, you don't know what your last name means. You don't know your last name. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now I find that kind of strange that he started saying this. This is the first time I started hearing him say it. I've been hearing him on O'Shea Duke Jackson panel talking shit for quite some time, and he never once talked about being self-aware and identifying yourself. You know what I mean? And taking pride in who you are as a man and your name in and of itself. And I find it kind of funny because not too long ago I made a video called the top 5 defects of black men, and the number 1 defect that a lot of black men are deficient in, an area that black men are deficient in, is self-awareness. Black men who are not self-aware, they do not, if you got self-awareness, you do not idolize another man. You find your own voice. You're not walking around here trying to sound like somebody else. Knowing what you like and what makes you happy, and not just accepting what you're told to like. And lastly, as part of that self-awareness, is defining your own identity. So that right there, when he says SYSBM, we don't promote self-identity. No, nigga, that's the number one. That's number 1 on my list. I tell every man I come across, nigga, find your voice, define who you are, define your own identity. Become self-aware. Know what you like. Know what makes you happy. Know what makes you sad. Know what makes you angry. You know what I mean? Know what your triggers are, and have coping mechanisms to combat those triggers. But another thing that he said was this whole, because Pookie and Ray Ray was brought up. Now I talk about Pookie and Ray Ray as an avatar for a general, dusty, ain't shit, no account man. You know what I mean? So I just use that as an avatar. But before I hopped on and got on the call line, got in the queue and whatnot, he was saying something about, Pookie and Ray Ray know who they are. They have an identity, and they're not gonna take shit off these women. So he just painted the picture that Pookie and Ray Ray are masculinity persona non grata. You know what I mean? And if you pay very close attention, all the dudes who are just calling in and fucking just dangling on this lowly, slurping them, if you will, them niggas sounded dumb as fuck. Yeah, man, you just got to have your mouthpiece on point, because you really don't need to spend money like that. You just need to have a crispy mouthpiece and, be able to talk to these women. And, nigga, shut your dumb ass up. Sound dumb as hell. Oh, Mary had a little lamb looking ass nigga. Get the fuck out of here, man. You a whole goddamn dullard. Trying to talk about you got game, nigga. Only niggas who subscribe to that shit are dummies. And I'm gonna tell you what, this is how matriarchal women operate. They purposely do not, and I think I said this while I was on the phone with Steve, and I think I said this in another podcast on another channel, but anyway, they do not choose competent men to get with. They choose dummies. They choose dummies who are willing to be little court gestures and tap dance for them. If you're willing to be a fucking court gesture, tap dance and crack corny ass jokes and to amuse her and whatnot, and you're too dumb to catch on to the fuckery that she's doing, then yeah, she'll fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, put it like this, right? Let's say you got 2 parents, right? They're both single parents. They split custody. The mother allows the child to just eat whatever the child wants, stay up at all hours of the night, really doesn't set firm boundaries for the child and whatnot, just lets the child do whatever the child wants to do. The father, on the other hand, sets firm boundaries. When the child's at the father's house, the father makes the child eat, balanced meals and whatnot. It sets boundaries, has a structured life for the child when the child's over there. Sets a firm, bedtime for the child. Who you think, when a third party comes in and asks the child, who would you rather stay with? Who would you rather live with, mommy or daddy? Of course, the child is gonna say mommy. Because mommy let her do whatever, because mommy let the child do whatever the fuck the child wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not until the child is like mid to late 20s going into their 30s and they done made a bevy of mistakes throughout their life because they've grown accustomed to just doing whatever the fuck they want to do and just having no boundaries set upon them. And then they find out when they get into the real world that just not having any boundaries and not having any discipline and not being disciplined as a child got that person into a whole bunch of shit. So they might reflect and be like, God damn, I really wish I could go back in time and just go and live with my dad and have my dad raise me, because my mom fucked me up. You know what I mean? Like, my mama didn't discipline me at all, and I carried that shit into adulthood. You know what I mean? That's just a metaphor on how these bitches date. They get with sycophants, dullards, and court jesters, so they can just do whatever the fuck they want to do, and then they don't wise up to, oh shit, I need a man who's hitting on shit. They don't wise up to that fact until they're like well into their 30s with 2 or 3 kids, about 3 or 4 different baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not finna game up no bitch, man. I'm not finna chop shit. You understand? I'm coming, and yes, I am leading with my wallet, because that is a indicator that I am a provider and I'm willing to share my resources. So if you take my kind gesture of me taking you out to dinner and having an expensive dinner, if you take that as a sign of weakness and you want to hit me for a lick, bitch, you're gonna be gone. Okay, whatever. Hit me for that lick. You know what I mean? You can have them little funky ass couple $100, man. It ain't gonna be my last $100, but you ain't gonna never come across a nigga like me again. You feel me? So of course I'm gonna be witty. You feel me? Like, I got a personality. I talk my shit. I crack my jokes and whatnot. I say little flirtatious shit to women. You feel me? I'm not saying that I'm gonna be the fucking the Clear Eyes dude. Clear Eyes is awesome. I'm not a bland ass nigga like that. You know what I mean? But to just base my whole thing, or she should love me for me, nah, bitch. It's a quid pro quo. I got what you want. You got what I want. How the song go? You know what I'm saying? We were made for each other. You hear me? Don't you ever think about leaving. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, that's a gesture to let the bitch know, look, I got it, and I'm willing to share it. That's just a little taste. Now, if you want the whole entree, this little date, this little couple $100 I'm gonna spend on this date, that's just the appetizer. Nigga, the main course is the house and the cars and the stay-at-home wife type of shit. That's the main motherfucking course. You feel me? But you gotta earn that. And now it's her, and now the ball's in her court. Now, if she wants to be basic and get on some whole finesse culture, whorehouse culture type of shit, then that bitch is gonna get deep 60. She's gonna be out of here. And that is why SYSBM is what it is today, because we are anti-whorehouse culture, we are anti-matriarchy, we are anti-finesse culture. See, when you deal with a certain demographic of women in this country, you have to play by finesse. You have to play by whorehouse culture. You have to play by whorehouse rules if you're going to be successful with these particular females. And I wouldn't necessarily call it success. If you want to call it that, all right, I guess. But you're going to have to be finesse. You're going to have to be on your finesse shit. And you're going to have to bend the knee to the matriarchy. And what we in SYSBM is saying, bitch, we not playing them games. We just simply not, man. I'm not even going to try. You know? While I'm still single and mingling and whatnot, will I put a what you call it to the sword? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. But playing the game, nah. Nah. I'm not playing that game. But yeah, man. Get up on that, man.